the only person more anxious to do things than myself. And it was really surprising because I never seen you like that.
Oh, I'm surprised you haven't seen my face that bright before.
Yeah, you were from the top of your head to your face to everything. I mean, it was just one big vein.
Well, I have been called the red face sage before. Because I get so irate, and then I get so angry, my face turns red, and I start dropping truth bombs.
Yeah,
people don't want to hear.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Dum Yinzers. This is episode 174. Mike and I and another friend, we went down to the local parade. We have a Halloween parade here in our town, and we went down yesterday, and it ended up being, it was exactly what I thought it would be, Mike. I just figured it would be more anxiety and stress and all that kind of stuff than anything else. And I learned a little bit about Mike yesterday. What did you think about the parade, man?
It was a typical parade.
Yeah.
Especially for me, the Halloween parade,
Mm-hmm.
having to corral my child, him in public. When he wants to do something, he is headstrong and bullheaded.
Yeah.
So, but he didn't run off. He tried to run out into the road a couple times. Thankfully, it was like no one was around, so I had that going for me. It was cold. It was wet. There was people there, so it was not the most enjoyable time for me.
I thought he did pretty well.
But the little dude did great. Me and little dude, we held it together. We held it together. Yeah, no one had an emotional breakdown.
No, and I thought that you were going to be the one to have the emotional breakdown. Like I'd said, I'm usually the one who's stressing and pretty anxious about things like this. Oh. And I got to be honest with you. I seen how stressed and anxious you were, and I thought, you know what, this might not be that bad. I think I'm going to be okay.
You wanted to go to see me stress out. I am literally before the thing. I am sitting there, hands on my knees on my elbows, head down, just like this, mentally preparing myself, it's game 7.
I wish you could have seen it, everybody. I should have got video of this because this is 100% true. Mike was, he looked like a pitcher that was getting ready to throw 9 innings in a game 7.
It was rough, man. It was. I hate these things because I know how my kid acts.
Yeah.
He gets so excited and so bullheaded on something that he's just going to go do his own thing. And he just normally isn't fine, but when there's that many people around, last year, dude, he had me walking up and down Main Street. We didn't even watch the parade. He just wanted to run and go play. And I'm freezing cold, running after him. I'm like, this is not fun.
Right.
But this year, it started off with a lot of clutch moves, I should say.
Yeah, let's slowly get into that because This was definitely an event. It was the longest parade that I've ever seen in my life. And the reason being, and I think that it would be right up there, Mike, with the Thanksgiving Day Macy's parade
I was about to say, yes,
in New York City. And
forever.
And the reason why, all right, well, for starters, Mike didn't want to be there, which made it funny. And he's stressing the whole way down. And we're trying to figure out where to park. Now you got to understand our town here. It's one of these towns that really doesn't have parking. Everybody kind of finds places on the side of the road in front of other people's houses. And that's how the Pittsburgh chair, the chair that to save spaces became popular in our region. So what we had to do, we had to find a place to park. There's people everywhere. They're walking. Excuse me. There's cars everywhere. And Mike being the genius that he is.
300 IQ play coming up.
Mike and his 83 IQ.
That is about average for this area. So.
And he says, you know what? I'm gonna park right at the liquor store.
Beer distributor.
The beer distributor. I'm sorry. They sell such different products.
Stores across the street.
Yes. So we pull in. There's nobody in this parking spot. So that it was looked down upon. People thought about it. They drove by. Oh, I'm not going to park in this establishment. Not this one here. He pulls right in, and I thought, well, you know what? That's pretty smart thing to do. You know what? We're only going to be down there for 20 minutes. How long's a parade? So we get out the car. Everyone starts getting ready to head down to the parade, which was a street over. And Mike disappears. I said, "Where's Mike? We got to get down there. The parade's starting." And he went into the liquor store. He went into the beer distributor. I'm sorry.
Yeah, right. This is PA. It's a beer distributor.
So he went in and he had to get his alcohol before the before the parade. And he did. He went and he got that. No, you know what? Everything was cool. We walked down. I mean, beside the fact, Mike, that it was raining and it was cold. It literally got cold about 3 days here, and it's been cold ever since. But there was a rain in the air. I mean, it was just one of them environments you knew you just wanted to be home. You didn't want to be there. So Mike went in. He got his alcohol.
I got a story about being in there.
And Mike, hold on one second. Mike got a story, I know. And I can't wait to hear it because, like I said, this had to be the most. This was the longest fucking parade I've ever seen in my life. I'm not a parade guy, nor am I a fireworks guy. I don't get excited to see either of these two. So this just seemed like it was the longest parade ever. Before we get down to the parade, yeah, go ahead, Mike. Why don't you tell us what happened in the store before we get down to the parade?
Yeah, so I hop in the liquor store or the beer distributor, excuse me, and when I get in, you got your mom. There was a mother and a child, a small child, this kid who had to be no more than 9, 8 years old, in the beer distributor. So you're in a high class area. And you got the mom and the daughter in there. I feel weird. I have never taken my kid into a store to go buy alcohol.
You're right.
I always have someone to watch them. I understand, you're getting out there for the parade, but why are you taking your kid and drinking at the parade? My alcohol is for after the parade to decompress.
Yeah, Mike's the normal one.
Yeah, that's normal. That's high class. If I didn't have to drive, I probably would have got myself a to-go. But anyway, she's in there trying to figure out what kind of adult slushy she wants. And they had the coffee one, which is 8%, Long Island iced tea, and a couple other different flavors. They have 6 total. Well, the coffee one comes in a smaller cup, and then the other 5 that you can buy, they have like a 16 ounce and a 32 ounce. She sat there and asked questions about every single one. Every single one. I'm like, I was the only one in line. Then I look behind me, and there's like 5 other people. I'm like, where the hell did all these people come from? And she still hasn't made up her mind yet. Like, come on, lady. It's like 6 o'clock at night. It's 6:15, 6:20. The parade's about to start. Your daughter's ready to go. You have people behind you. Like, come on, make a decision. Okay? These are places where you go. You make your quick decision. You get in, you get out.
Yeah.
It's not sit there and take for.
You don't window shop at the beer distributor.
In her defense, when she got there, there was no one there.
Right.
But once you notice, okay, one person, 2 people, 3, 4 people, okay, it's time to make a decision and go. At least that's how I feel. My social anxiety kicks in. So if I have people behind me, I'm like, I just heard make a snap decision, like, get out of here and go. I'm holding people up. Let's go. But now she sat there, she took her time, and finally decided on what she wanted. And then it took forever for her to put her card in and pay. I'm like, you're not a feeble person, old person here. You look smart, you look sharp, you got it going on, so let's go. And she just took forever.
Was she hot?
She was hot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I don't know. I was imagining this old.
Hold on. It might have been Beaver County Huck. She had a lot of makeup caked on.
Okay, Beaver County.
I'm not anyone to talk about anyone's looks. Okay.
No, you're beautiful. You're beautiful, you freak.
Oh yeah, I'm a beautiful. But she looked rather attractive, but I couldn't tell if it's because of all the makeup she had on.
I'm sure.
But she was still probably good looking without the makeup just using to accentuate. So I don't like making fun of people for the looks because it's a dick move. And I am a sexy beast, and it is hard for anyone to come up to my standards. I almost got through that without laughing.
You were a solid 3, baby. We got this.
Oh come on, I was 6.5, 7, baby. I got my beard. I got my beautiful bald head. I got my dad bod. I got my charm, my boyish charms. Yeah.
So we get down there.
But yeah.
We get down to the parade. And we had a pretty good spot.
We had an excellent spot.
It really did go well. We weren't in the brunt. We weren't in the brunt of the people. We kind of were about 90% through the parade.
Mm-hmm.
So that was not bad. It was thin. There weren't kids knocking our children over.
Yeah.
The funny thing was there was Mike knocking other people's children over, trying to help get candy. Now he's saying no, but I've seen this with my eyes. The kids they throw candy. Okay, you've seen these Halloween parades. They're on this either on a truck, on a fire truck, on a flatbed. There's even a band performing on the back of a flatbed. And when they go by, they all have candy and they're all throwing it. They throw it to the kids. Now, Mike, his child is a little younger, so Mike, helped out on a few occasions, which was funny to see because he'll take a look at your screen. Take a look at Mike for a second. There you go. Take a nice look here. There you go. So imagine this. You have 30 kids, probably about, I don't know, 6 years old and under. And, some of them still have diapers popping out of the top of their pants. And, and they're running around aimlessly trying to find this candy. Well, here comes, defensive tackle over here. You had Mike blocking people out with his ass like they do in basketball, boxing them out while he was helping his son.
It was like Karl Malone, man.
It was like Karl Malone. And I tell you what, by using his size and those agility and those skills, he managed to get a lot of candy. And his son got a lot of candy. Which we'll get into what happened to the candy later on in the story. His son's candy.
No, come on. I was just helping my little man pick up some candy. He didn't know what was going on. I was helping him. No.
And then hold on. And then Mike, we're there for again, and it was the longest parade ever. And I'm going to tell you why in a second. But Mike managed to make a friend.
I did.
In the 13 minutes that we were at this parade.
I did.
This guy and his lady friend and their children were right next to us. They were getting candy as well. I think that Mike made a friend with them because he probably offended them at some point while trying to get the candy. So he kind of felt the need to be friends.
Kids out of my way.
Yeah.
No.
There was elbows, right? I seen elbows. Shut up.
No.
And
it is scandalous and lies.
And this guy, him and Mike, it seemed like they were plotting and planning. I couldn't see the guy's mouth because he had a mask on. But yeah, Mike did. He managed to find a friend, which it calmed Mike down. That was nice. It was nice to see Mike calm down a bit. And once he was talking to other adults, he didn't manage to jump out and grab as much candy. But the fact of the matter is, he did do that, and it was funny. And his kid probably got more candy than everybody else in the area. Go ahead, Mike. What was you going to say?
I would like some rebuttals here, Your Honor.
Please.
One, I did not push any little kids out of the way except my own. Let's get that right here. He started to run out in traffic, and the only thing I can grab was the back of his jacket, and his hood was there, and I saved him. I didn't let him get run over by a horse and a buggy. I'm a hero. And I swooped down and grabbed the candy and put it in his hat. And the guy next to me, he felt bad for my child because he saw me struggling to pick the stuff up and had his kid pick the candy up to give to my kid. That man's a hero and a saint. And yes, we were plotting. We were plotting on how to get more candy.
I particularly liked Mike and you got to imagine it was a Halloween parade.
Yes.
So there was people dressed up in the coolest costumes.
Oh yes.
Some of these kids, the stuff they come up with, really creative.
Yeah.
And I think at one point, Mike described to me what it was about them people that you were telling me about from the one band that had the Star Wars.
Yes, the drum line. It wasn't actual. The drum line was like the bass drums. They all were dressed up. One was like I think Darth Vader. One was Kylo Ren. One was another Sith Lord. Darth Maul. Yeah. And so they all had like the black on, all black robes, the mask for each corresponding character, and then their drumsticks. They were lightsabers, and each time they hit, they lit up red, like the red lightsabers. I thought that was badass.
It was really cool. I'm not really into the Star Wars like that, but you know what? It was really neat to see. A lot of these costumes were really cool. A lot of these little girls seemed very cold.
Yeah.
For their costumes, they
made some tactical errors in their costumes.
Yes, because it was cold, it was rainy. We didn't want to be standing there.
Yeah, I felt bad for like everyone in the bands.
Yeah.
They look cold.
I did. I like that, and also I remember at one point, Mike, we were there. The football team for the local team that we live in our studios in here. The football team goes driving by in the back of one of these trucks.
It's my favorite part.
And they take the candy and they throw it out on the road, and all the kids come from everywhere and they jump on it. Well, the football team, they got to be the cool guys, right? So they come up with this idea, and as they're going by in the back of this flatbed truck, the one kid yells, "Open up your bags. Hold your bags open. We'll throw them in. And I immediately knew this wasn't going to be good.
No.
So I just stepped back and let it happen. And these football players start taking these handfuls of candy and they're throwing them, trying to get them in the bags that these little kids, ages 2 through 9, are holding them. And the candy's bouncing off these kids' face. The one girl caught it right here in the side of the eye. I seen that happen. They're pelting these kids. Nobody's thinking nothing of it. The family, the parents, they're not thinking of it. They're just
thinking,
into
this is cute. This is fun.
Yeah. They're like, did you get all that? Did you get all that? Grab that. Hurry up. Get that over there before the big guy next to you gets it.
Hey.
And but that was something that certainly caught my attention. Was when they started pelting the kids with the I've never seen anything like that in my life.
I tell you what, that little girl, she was a trooper.
Yeah, she was. I mean, the stitches and all, I think she did very well.
She was like a hockey player. She's like bleeding from the eyes. She's like, this is not going to slow me down. There's candy to be had. I'm getting that candy.
Yes. I got to give it to her. She was definitely the MVP
she
of that.
She was the MVP. She's my hero, man. She's going to win a Stanley Cup one day.
Good times. I tell you, and then there was this woman. She walks around with a wand.
The parking enforcement lady.
Yeah, what is she anyway?
Cop or something?
She was dressed like she would be the parking meter lady. The lady that goes around town, checks meters, gives people tickets.
The back lady for the line, man.
Yeah, so she had they gave her a wand. Somebody come up with a bright idea to give this fucking lady a wand, and it looked like one of those, Mike, one of the metal detector wands they check you with, which was what I thought it was at first. So she comes by and she keeps waving it by me. I thought, what the fuck? What do I have something on me? And she came really close to whacking me in my wiener area, man.
Well, because it kept going off because it kept hitting your cock ring.
Yeah. It's my new metallic cock ring. And once she walked by, I looked around and I noticed that I was a little bit more out on the road than everybody else. So I understood.
You're out like halfway into the street, my guy.
Yeah, I had to see what was going on.
You were worse than the kids, man.
And I may just for the crazy shit go back to one of these again. Again, I don't do parades. I don't do fireworks. So this was a big for me. But I did. I went. I kind of enjoyed it. I enjoyed the things that I probably shouldn't have enjoyed, which is what's going to take me back there. But I got to say, Mike, the thing that I thought was really cool was the fact that it was a Halloween parade. There was a lot of things going on. And I got a little echo. Okay, that's better. And the one thing that I noticed was there were, just the costumes was cool. You get a lot of people dressing up like things that you would see nowadays. You see people, just all that different stuff. And then also the one thing that I thought was really cool was the guys that they come from a local haunted house, one of these haunted trails, and they're walking along the side of the road. Like there's the parade and then these guys and then, the people. And they had chainsaws, like you go through one of them haunted trails, and they're walking up behind kids, and with their chainsaws and scaring the shit out of everybody. So this is something that I can see myself doing again. It will take the motivation and the little extra push, just because it is something that I don't generally do. But Mike, I can't say that I didn't enjoy this parade.
I enjoyed the parade as well. There,
when it was all said and done,
it was fun. I had a good time. Normally, I was like so stressed out.
Yeah,
because my little one last year, all he wanted to do was run around, and either I have to hold him constantly or he's taking off running. It's normally a mess. But this year, the kid was good. Like you said, we picked the right area going down at the end of the parade, because normally we're always in the middle of the parade.
Yeah,
and that's where people are fighting for the candy. It's like a mosh pit in that area.
We figured out the strategy.
So yes, we cracked the code, and it was smart. Normally what I like to do at a parade is go all the way down to the end. Once that first part of the parade gets to me, I start walking the opposite direction. That way I can fast forward the parade. And
I really like that idea.
I've done before anyone else, and I can go home and avoid the traffic. And even then too, man, I another 1,000 IQ I play. I took the back roads home, avoided everyone on Main Street, and then boom, got there. No stress.
Well, I might fast forward a little bit. Let's rewind just a hair. When the parade was probably, I don't probably about 98% of the way over.
Yeah.
Everyone was with us in the group, said, "Hey, let's go. Let's get a move on, beat the traffic, blah, blah, blah." So I said, "Okay, let's do this." And Mike must have grabbed his child mid-sentence when they were coming up with this idea to get ready to take off,
Michael, don't leave me here.
Out.
So I did. I caught that, and I hurried up and I grabbed my offspring, and I drug him really fast. We got the hell out of there. And by the time, like Mike said, we got back to the. My thing was, I was suspecting that Mike was trying to hurry along because he was thinking that his car was getting towed over at the beer distributor. But he said that's not the case, so I believe him. But it was, Mike. It was a good time. I may even consider doing this again. And the thing was, I was dead set on not going. I wasn't going to go to this thing. I told him, I said, Mike, I don't do these things. I don't do these things.
They're great.
The more and more and more that I see Mike suffering, the more and more I thought to myself, I have to go. I have to see this whole thing play out. If I stay home
and miss this
and play on my phone, and they come back and tell me these things happen, I would never be able to forgive myself, because now we would be scrambling this morning to look for something to talk about for a third of the show, and it would be this whole thing. But you know what? It was a good move. Anytime Mike is red, that is the key. When people see red, they stop. But when I see red, it's a door, a hallway for good material. So that's what I did.
That's literally what you said. He's like, oh, this is going to be great content.
Yes, absolutely. I couldn't leave that on the table, Mike. I wouldn't be able to forgive myself. And here's the thing. You only have one Halloween parade a year, and we missed it last year. So I really felt the need to get down there. And
oh, I didn't miss it last year. Somehow I got drunk to it last year.
That's true. You did.
I don't want to.
What we do, we have the Thanksgiving parade coming next month, I'm sure. They have a parade every fucking month. It's like the days and the holiday. Oh, with these parades. It goes right from fireworks to parades. It just doesn't stop.
It does not. It needs to stop. There's too many parades.
Yes. Too many. Yes. It's like anything. Too many of anything is not good.
Unless there's too many mics. There's not enough mics.
Welcome to the Two Dum Yinzers, everybody. It's episode 174. No, but it was a great time. It really was. I was glad that I went, and I just might do it again.
You should, man. It was fun.
I wouldn't hold me to it, but I just may do it
again. I had a blast.
Yeah, it looked like you had a blast.
I did too, man. The bands, man. I like the high school bands. I always have some
music. Yeah, all the music was good. All the kids were, they were all dressed up well. I like the one school that came through that had all the Steeler gear on. I think like the flag girls.
They all had they're dressed up like Steeler cheerleaders. They had like Palomalu jerseys on and stuff like that. The stuff twirling.
Yeah,
it was good. I liked it.
That was it was all right, man. Seemed like a lot of people went. I seen there was a lot of people down there. Luckily, so what the point was, why the thing took so long. We caught half the parade, apparently, and I thought it was over. I thought, this is fucking awesome. I mean, 10, 15 minutes, we were done. And I said to one of the people I was with, I'm like, we were ready to go. And she said, no, the parade is still coming. It's still, getting together up at the first part of the parade. So it might get, what would you say? I mean, that was a good 10 minutes between the two parts of the parade.
Yeah, there's a big gap. I don't know why, but there's a huge gap. There's like an intermission.
It was like an intermission, like a halftime.
Yeah.
And the parade just stopped. It just stopped, and you're standing there and you're looking down one way, and you see the parade finishing for the first half of the people. But then you look, a couple hundred yards to your left, you still see a whole entire parade working its way down the main street. So that was a bit frustrating because I know what's going on. You know what I mean? I don't want to be at something where I don't know what's happening and what's going on. But that was why it took a long time. It was a little longer. I would say that's a little longer than normal parade around here, wouldn't you, Mike?
It was, but I had no real complaints though. It was a fun time.
Oh yeah, it was a good time. A lot of people.
Lots and lots of
people. It's hard to check out chicks because this time of year around here when it first starts getting cold, all the girls are like super bundled up and they don't get into the sexy winter gear just yet.
Sexy winter gear.
Like the total inappropriate stuff that you would wear in winter time.
Oh God, there's something wrong. There is something wrong with you.
They didn't hit that yet. Mike.
Yes.
A big Instagram post yesterday that has the social media buzzing in the Pittsburgh area here. What?
I know what you're talking about.
Yes. There was a Instagram post yesterday from TJ Watt. TJ Watt, he didn't really say much, but he put a picture of himself up, fully dressed for a game in his uniform. And it's got Western PA buzzing, Mike.
It does. We are fired up.
Yes, fired up.
Fired up for some TJ Watt possibly coming back. He's 2 more weeks?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we got the bye coming up, and
we got the bye. So this week we play the Dolphins.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody, Mike, again is picking Miami.
That, we're 2-5. What do you expect? 2-4. What are we? 2-4?
Yeah, Miami's 3-3.
Yeah, but they're getting Tua back. They were looking great till he got hurt, and we're struggling.
Yeah.
We are struggling. So I don't take offense to everyone, picking Miami.
Right.
It's it is what it is. Until we prove that we can consistently win games, we're not gonna, people aren't gonna pick us.
I'm gonna pick us.
Accept reality.
I'm gonna pick us, and what happened was last week nobody expected the Steelers to win.
No.
Everybody picked Tampa Bay, and they came out and they laid a big egg, and the Steelers were able to get the W. So I'm taking the Steelers again. I'm going to take Pittsburgh. I'm not going to have a score till tomorrow. But there is one thing that we do have to do, Mike, because tonight, on Thursday Night Football,
yes,
the 2-4 Saints travel to 2-4 Arizona Cardinals. Now, this, as we were talking about yesterday, is the third leg. This is the third leg to the bird gauntlet, Mike, for the Saints. Now, the Saints, they're trying to. No one has ever done it. The Saints are trying to beat all 5 bird franchises. The Eagles, the Ravens, the Falcons, Cardinals, and the Seahawks. Now, they've already won 2. They've played 2 of them so far. They beat the Seahawks and the Falcons. And this week, tonight, matter of fact, tonight they play the Cardinals. Now, that's what makes this a little bit more fascinating to me, Mike. The teams don't really excite me. I like to see little Kyler Murray, like everybody else would, a couple other players. But you know what? The thing that's really motivating me is I want to see that if the Saints could accomplish this bird gauntlet this year and become the first team to ever beat all 5 bird franchises in one season.
You see, I never knew this. I didn't know this was a thing until we started talking about it. What was it? Last week or so, and then yesterday. Now I want to see it. I want to see if they can do it.
Yeah.
I'm calling it the if they win, they win the Alfred Hitchcock Award for the birds.
I like that.
Yeah. For the way the season's going in the NFL, there's no real compelling storylines for the most part because a lot of teams suck and there's just a couple good teams.
Yeah.
You got these Eagles. How long can they remain undefeated? That's storyline every year at this point to see what team can make it undefeated. But
right.
I'm down to see if the Saints can defeat the Birds.
And I like that because the Saints team ain't this great team. You got to understand they beat the Falcons, they beat the Seahawks. They're 2-4. Their 2 wins came against bird teams. So if they win tonight, all 3 of their wins will be against 3 of those 5 bird teams.
It's just wild. I hope that's all the games they win.
I hope they only beat those 5 teams all year.
It would be beautiful.
5 and 12.
Yeah, and they'd be the only team to beat the Eagles. I'd like to see the Eagles go 16-1.
That would be
a thing of beauty.
That would be great. So that is tonight, everybody. Thursday Night Football. Don't forget that is over on, what is that, like Prime?
Yes.
Prime for Thursday Night Football. Don't forget to watch that game tonight. Also, Mike, if you are bored or you feel like watching a team from your own city here in Pittsburgh, we have the Kings, the LA Kings, coming to town tonight to play the 2-0-1 Pittsburgh Penguins at 7 o'clock at the PPG Arena. So that will be on TV as well as if you want to take a trip downtown and go check out a hockey game.
Let's go, Peds. You said, what, playing the Kings?
Yes, sir.
It's John Gibson.
Oh, is he still out there?
I think he's still playing there, and he's local.
Yeah, yes, it sure is. The funny thing to me, like when I think of the Kings, I still think of like Wayne Gretzky, Luc Robitaille, Kelly Rudy. That's where my old ass brain goes whenever I think of the LA Kings.
Oh man, lucky Luc Robitaille.
Yeah.
I was like, God, like you forget that they won what? How many cups did they win? They won two.
Yeah,
Yeah, too. Yeah, people forget that they won those two Stanley Cups, and they just, like you said, remember the Wayne Gretzky era.
right.
And wasn't Jeff Carter a member of those teams?
Jeff Carter, Jonathan Quick.
Yeah,
It was a nice little squad out
they
there,
did have a
man.
good little team there.
And also one other area, if you don't, if you're through with watching your football game and your hockey game, you could go over and check out the ALCS Game 2. They snuck in Game 1 on us yesterday, Mike. The Astros beat the Yankees 4-2. So the Astros are up 1-0 in that series. Game 2 is today at 7:37. And then one more thing about sports and schedules and stuff, Mike. This week is not so big, but the number 16 in the country, Penn State Nittany Lions are 5-1.
Yes.
They're playing the 4-2 Minnesota. Now, here's the thing: this game isn't so fascinating to me, which is at 7:30, by the way, if you do want to watch. What's fascinating to me is the next week game, Ohio State. Now, I get a feeling. I'm getting a feeling, and you may call me crazy, but I'm getting a feeling here. I think that Penn State might be able to upset Ohio State. And here's why I say that. Because you talk about how bad it usually is. And Ohio State usually, they are what they are. They dominate everybody in the Big Ten pretty much. And it's a weird year, weird upsets. Tennessee, beating Alabama the other day. It's in football around it, the football gods they're being crazy this year. They're obviously not sober. So the big game that I'm anticipating is next weekend is that Penn State and Ohio State game. Like if they could pull that off, that would be freaking huge. And how far? I mean, how far does that bring Penn State back up the rankings if they can pull off an Ohio State upset?
If they first of all, they have to get past Minnesota.
You're right,
and that's going to be a tough game. Minnesota, Penn State are always tough games.
Right.
If Minnesota can have like the worst team out there, and it's still going to be a tough game. I don't know what it is. They always get up and ready to play Penn State.
Right.
So yeah, we have to get through that game. But if Penn State wins, home against Minnesota, then plays Ohio State, it pulls off the upset. That should propel Penn State. I want to say maybe top 12. I don't think they're going to make it back into the top 10 if they beat that game and like all the other seedings work out. Because I don't know who's playing who. If there's any like other top teams playing anyone, any upsets. But if everything holds true, I say maybe pop up to like top 12.
I think if Penn State's sitting at 16, and if you win that game, you go to 7-1. Because if they beat Minnesota this week, they would be 7-1 if they would then upset Ohio State. So I think at that point, if you're 7-1,
usually,
and you'll move up a little bit, maybe a spot or two by beating Minnesota. But then if you beat Ohio State next week, I think that puts you at least 7-8. Because beating Ohio State's a big thing.
Yeah.
Look what beating Alabama did for Tennessee. Tennessee is now in the top. What are they in the top 5?
Yeah, they're up there, but you have to figure though, Penn State got embarrassed by number 4 Michigan when we were 10. So
but here's the thing,
that
too.
weighs into it as well.
At least it was number 4 Michigan.
It's true.
That embarrassed you. It wasn't.
If you lose to the number 4 team, you go out and upset the number 2 team. Yeah, you gotta move up.
I'm feeling confident about this. I'm going to take Penn State in that week, but like you said, first things first, they have Minnesota.
It's the whiteout game at Happy Valley. Those games are always fun to watch. It's like the best college atmosphere in college football is when Penn State has a whiteout game.
Now they add alcohol to that. It's going to be better.
God, yeah. Alcohol, a bunch of the top recruits are going to be there, so they better win. James Franklin better call a good game. Sam Clifford better step the F up and play a good game because program needs it after that embarrassing loss to Michigan.
Sure seems like he's been there forever, that Clifford.
He's on the Kenny Pickett program.
Is he?
Yeah, just stay there until you finally have a good year.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, then Weezer will wait into the first round in a weak draft class.
Speaking of Kenny Pickett, this weekend the Pitt Panthers sitting at 4-2 play the 3-3 Louisville Cardinals. That's going to be at 8:00 p.m. at Louisville. Louisville's 2.5-point favorite. which doesn't surprise me. That's generally what you get for being the home team. So I think this should be a pretty equal game. The one guy that I think you have to watch out for is that Louisville quarterback. He is close to being a splitting image of Lamar Jackson, especially wearing the uniform. He looks, very similar to him out there, his skills, his abilities, in the way he plays football. So I think that's going to pose a problem for Pitt. But Pitt did have the week off last week. Hopefully, Coach Arduzzi and the guys put together a good enough game plan to maybe hang in there and win that game.
We could hope they would beat Louisville.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to stay
3-3 Louisville, man.
If you want to stay in the race, you got to beat Louisville.
You have to, because you
already put yourself behind the 8 ball to lose the loss to Georgia Tech.
Yeah, lost to Georgia Tech because and they're ahead of you in the standings and for the division.
Yeah.
For the Coastal, because North Carolina is sitting at 3-0 inside of the division, 6-1 overall, 22 in the land. They're
I can't wait
holding on
to
to
the
that
Carolina game.
Yeah, that Georgia Tech game, man. We talk about it all the time, man. Pitt has that one game that screws them over, and it's always that one team that you should beat.
Yeah.
Okay, you can.
It's always early.
Yep. You can understand, okay, hey, you're going to lose to like a Clemson, maybe even like a Syracuse, because Syracuse is always a tough team to play against.
Right.
Especially right now where they're ranked this year. You can excuse those losses, but man, Georgia Tech, 3-3.
Yeah,
but Georgia Tech's also 2-1 in
Georgia Tech.
So they're
playing a lot better than most people thought they would.
Yeah.
We were 22-point favorites, Mike.
Yeah.
In that game that we lost to Georgia Tech.
I'm looking at it right now. Points for Georgia Tech, 59 points against 82, and somehow they're 500, but they have 2 wins in the ACC.
Yeah,
that is insane. That's what college football is the best.
Yeah. Before we move on, Mike, I do want to. We do have to make our picks for tonight. We got the Saints to Cardinals. I'm going to take the Saints just because I want to see it happen.
Me too. I hate when we do that, but hey, my heart is going with the Saints, man.
No, you're right. I think that, yeah.
Tyson, like the way the quarterback situation is going down in New Orleans, it wouldn't surprise me. Like Tyson Hill's playing, but he'll be listed as tight end for fantasy football. It's going to screw everyone over. It's going to be a thing of beauty. I hope there's a lot of shenanigans.
Absolutely, everybody. So do check that out. The football weekend starts tonight. Mike Miles Jack leads the team. The Pittsburgh Steelers, of course, who I'm talking about, our linebacker Miles Jack, who we got from the Jacksonville Jaguars in the offseason, leads the team with 58 tackles. His 58 tackles in 6 games are the second most in franchise history through 6 games.
I saw that, and he's like, 28 tackles more than whoever's second.
Yeah.
He is cleaning up a lot of messes in that area, in the middle of the field.
You figure he has 58. They're a third of the way through the season, 100 and 150.
Yeah.
174. He's on pace for 174 tackles.
Which that's unheard of, especially in the 3-4.
Yeah.
Because you got to understand that, the 4-3, your middle linebacker should be leading the team in tackles.
You're right.
In the 4-3. In the 3-4, man, that stuff's spread out for everyone. Because you're competing with another inside linebacker, and 2, your outside linebacker should be making plays in the backfield, causing havoc there. The safety's coming up and helping in run support. But yeah, for him to have that many tackles and be on pace for that many is insane.
So excited. You know what? I was so excited for him to come here because I've seen him as a player in Jacksonville, and I always thought to myself, man, he would be a great Steeler linebacker, and he has not disappointed.
No.
He has been a great Steeler linebacker so far.
And he seems to be a stabling influence next to Devin Bush.
Yeah.
And I wonder if the coaching with Brian Flores, he was brought in supposed to be like the linebacker whisperer.
Yeah.
And Devin Bush is playing, man. He's
playing better than I thought.
He's playing a lot better than a lot of people thought.
Yeah.
Is he back up to where he was his rookie year and his second year before he got hurt? No. Was he a lot better than last year? Yes. He's a lot better than
he's
last
certainly
year.
Improved. It's still painful to see him get drugged. The thing about Devin Bush, what a lot of people don't understand, he's undersized.
Yeah.
He's not that big of a guy. You see him out there, next to other guys. He's kind of an undersized football player in general. I don't want to say for a linebacker, because you see him, he does. I think he's just a little small, which, you could pull off if you got the heart, the skill, and the desire, but he does. A lot of times I see him getting drugged down the field an extra 2-3 yards, but he's there.
Yeah.
And if he wasn't there, the play would, turn into something different. But he does get that, get pulled around a little bit during the game. Makes me nervous, but
5'11", 234. He's bigger than most linebackers, but like the tight ends and stuff, they dwarf him.
Yeah, I mean, he's my size basically, and you know, some of these guys that are in that league are huge. You know what I mean?
Yeah. He's only like, take a look at Marcus Allen. He's a converted safety. He's 6'2", 215.
Right.
So and our middle linebacker is 234.
Right.
And the Miles Jack, 255 pounds. That's your
linebacker size.
That's your build. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know, Devin Bushman, they showed some plays. Brian Baldinger of the NFL Network, he was breaking stuff down on Twitter, and they were showing him. He showed a couple plays against Tampa where he was just shooting the gap on running backs, pushing linemen out of the way, and just wrapping them up. Good tackle. So if he gets you on the right angle and reads the play right, yeah, he can drop you. But when it's to do those head-on-head, like, you know, head-to-heads, seems like he does have to, like, wrap and drag, and can't just do that big wrap.
Right.
But like you said, though, if he's not there, that play's going a lot further.
Absolutely.
So at least, you know, he's getting on the guy and holding him up until the teammates get there to help clean up.
Yeah.
And I'll take that instead of someone just going like he was like last year, just letting people run right by him.
Right.
Not even like last year felt like he didn't even want to try and contact people, whereas this year he's hey, I may take the hit, but I'm going to help make the play.
You know what? The linebackers don't look too bad between Jack and what Bush is playing and Highsmith leading the NFL in sacks. I mean, you get TJ Watt back in there.
Yeah.
And once you get TJ Watt back in there, that it's going to open up a lot of things for other players as well. Mm-hmm. It's going to allow the defensive line to be a little bit more productive. It's going to allow the other linebackers to be a little bit more productive. You know, it's going to be a game changer, and you know, you're going to see different strategies, things with DBs, things like that. So it's going to be a whole different game. This defense should improve pretty sharply, pretty handsomely once TJ gets back. Mm-hmm. You don't want to do that. You don't want to sit around and wait for one player, but I believe that is going to be what happens. They're going to play a lot of what they displayed in the very first game of the year against Cincinnati when TJ was in there, and I hope to see him in the backfield as much as we were starting to see him before he got hurt.
Yeah, because you know, a lot of fans were like really high on Highsmith after that first game, and I was like, you know, how much of it was TJ Watt, but he cooled off for a little bit. Like the past 2 games, when he's been playing better and better.
Bud Dupree, that was the one that just left and went to Tennessee.
Yeah, a couple years ago. Yeah,
Highsmith feels very Bud Dupree-ish to me. I think once you get TJ back, you're going to see Highsmith's numbers continue to move upwards.
Yeah,
it's that TJ effect.
Yeah, I thought Bud overall was the better combo with TJ.
Yeah,
I think he had a better pass rush repertoire. I just think Bud Dupree's the better outside linebacker than Highsmith. I
think he's just a better athlete overall.
Yeah, overall. But Highsmith, he's slowly developing, coming into his own.
Yeah.
I didn't see it. I did, because like a lot of fans, they'll just buy into the hype. They look at the stats, go, oh yeah, not taking in all the account factors into it. So I was taking in the TJ Watt factor. Okay, he had the 3 sacks with TJ. Then TJ was gone, and he didn't have sacks for a while, or struggled to get one. But now he's becoming more and more assertive as the season goes on.
Yeah,
which is what you want to see.
Absolutely, and moving into the time when TJ's coming back.
Yeah,
for Alex to have a little bit more confidence in himself than he did before TJ went out could be a big thing.
Yeah. And he's got to keep. The key is once TJ comes back, he can't take his foot off the gas.
No,
you got to keep playing at that level because you're slowly establishing yourself as the other guy. You have to, not just as a Robin, but as maybe another Batman level type outside linebacker. You have to be the guy. You can't go, oh he's back. All right, I can ease off the gas here. No, you got to keep going. You're
the sack leader in the league after 6 weeks of football. You have there's potential where you could be landing yourself into the All-Pro game. You could be doing some really good things for yourself if, like you said, he has to stay on that gas pedal. Don't let up when TJ comes back.
He hasn't shown anything that he won't put forth the effort. So, it's just one of those things you always worry about. Like when someone's like, hey, they're not here, I'm going to go hard. But now they're back. Like, hey, I can ease off a little. I don't have to try and do everything myself. But he hasn't shown anything that he's not that player that's just going to keep the pedal to the metal and keep going. But, for anyone who's never been in that position, you kind of worry, okay, can they keep doing it?
Yeah.
Because you see it like in any walk of life. Like at work, someone's keep workers out.
Absolutely.
This person steps up, but then that person comes back in there.
They
like,
go
I can
back
go back
to
to my no.
right.
But if you keep going that way, you see it all the time.
Mike, before we move on, I do have a few emails I want to get to today, but I got one more sports story here. Tom Brady and the Bucks. Check this out. Tom Brady and the Buccaneers, they were held to 21 or fewer points in 5 of the 6 games they played this year.
Holy shnikes.
Yes. And, we thought that we seen a shell, like we were saying, of the former self with just the way these players. And Ben, Roethlisberger in his show the other day said, he goes, that, I'd never seen Tom Brady not look like he wanted to be out on that football field. So I mean, from top to bottom, I think people observed that this was not a good team that we played. It is something for the Steelers to build on because, hey, it's decent names, decent players. You could always build on things like that. However, that's just as bad as we are. I think we scored 23 points in the overtime win against Cincinnati, if I'm not mistaken. But besides for that, have we scored more than 21 points?
I don't think so, because I brought that up when we were watching the game. It's like, no. 23.
Yeah.
We won 23-20. Lost 17-14, 29-17, 24-20, 28-3. Then 2018. No, we have not scored.
So we in the Buccaneers.
one game.
We and the Buccaneers and the GOAT Tom Brady and these great receivers, Evans and the whole deal, are neck and neck with the Pittsburgh Steelers. So you can put that into account once you're pulling your checkbook out to buy your Super Bowl tickets this week.
Yeah,
this is in fact the team that we beat.
I do like, speaking of Tom Brady, I was scrolling through Twitter and someone did a screenshot like, oh my God, is this guy psychic? And it was like, give a sports opinion that no one's going to believe. And it was like right before the season, someone said Tom Brady's going to struggle and they're going to get an upset loss against the Steelers, and then they turn it on. Like, so far, they've been struggling. The Steelers upset them, and
so now you think that they're going to turn it on?
Yeah, turn it on. Like, whoever tweeted that out, if that comes true, I'm going to find this person.
Well, who's going to turn it on? The Buccaneers or the
the Buccaneers are going to turn it on. Brady's going to turn it on. It's like everyone's going to doubt Brady, get upset by the Steelers, and they flip the switch and they rattle off a bunch of wins. So if that starts happening, I'm going to find this guy's Twitter account and scroll through and see if he has lottery numbers or some shit in there. But wouldn't that be the most quintessential Tom Brady type thing?
Yeah.
All the offseason, drama
Right.
of him retiring, not skipping training camp, Giselle filing for divorce, him not going to meetings, going to a wedding, getting embarrassed by the Pittsburgh Steelers, and then they rally for a Super Bowl. He rides off into the sunset with his 8th.
For real? Damn, it must be true.
I hope it's not true, but it would be if it happens to anyone, it would be Tom Brady.
Absolutely.
And that's just
the way, crazy to think it's not going to happen
right now, and I hate it.
Yeah. Let's go over to some email, Mike.
Oh yeah.
Let's see. Okay. Ben wants to know: is Mike any more optimistic with the Steelers after last week's win over the Buccaneers? We were just talking about that.
Not overall. They need to prove it, especially that defensive line.
Yeah.
Ogunjobi and King Hayward dominated that game, and they need to do that game in, game out. Do you see when both of them are on? You can't. It was hard to stop, but we did give up some big runs on that for Leonard Fournette. Some key runs, especially on that touchdown drive. He just ran all over us. I'm a little encouraged, a little, but not a whole lot. I'm still. Yeah.
I just seen yesterday, Mike, that Nick Chubb is in the lead. He leads the whole league in rushing yards. So, I mean, we can't feel that terrible that he totally annihilated us. I mean, him being the number one rusher, you would think would put a hurting on teams. You know what I mean? So that a lot of people go back to that and talk about how bad our rush defense was. And at those couple particular games when that was going on, we were doing the same thing. This is terrible. We can't stop anybody. What's Clam doing?
Yeah.
But I seen that Chubb leads the league and has a lot of things going on. So, I don't really feel too terrible about that one. And I don't feel like that it's just crazy because every time you think about things like this, it's like, well, once TJ gets back, things will be better. And it shouldn't be that way for one guy. But, I don't know.
I'm still middle of the road with the team. It wouldn't surprise me if they flame out.
Yeah.
But it also wouldn't surprise me if they rally. So
Nicole, hey baby, you guys are so fucking rude. Whoa, Nicole. You guys are so fucking rude. You pushed off having Allie on to talk about Dahmer, and when you finally did, you hardly let her talk about it. Okay,
him.
Nicole, let me tell you something. Allie wasn't able to participate in the show because she's having an issue with her device and her email and a few things, and we tried many times to have her on. Mike, last 3 weeks, I think that we tried to have her on about 2 or 3 times. But she made her way onto the show yesterday. And the thing was, we couldn't hear her. I couldn't hear her. She's standing off mic. She's talking. Just shut up.
It's all you.
Terry.
Not me. I'm not rude. I am gracious to our guests.
Terry asks, how many sacks do you think TJ Watt will end up with this year?
Ooh.
I'm going to say 13.
You think he's going to get that many?
I do. Because there's still a lot of season left. He's going to be 10 games when he gets back. I think he'll get 13 in 10 games.
I don't know. I think he gets hurt again, man. I think he finishes with like 6 sacks.
Yeah, I mean, he could ultimately do that as well. I mean, I think that's definitely not out of the question. These guys that have these bodies like this, they do get hurt, you know.
The Watt family is notorious for getting hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he has 1 sack already. You think he's going to get 12 more, and I think he's going to get like 5 more.
Durf, which looks like it's Fred backwards. Durf says, Tom Brady sucks. Tom Brady sucks. That's what Durf says.
Never count out the GOAT.
No.
That's all I got to say. Like, he does look like he's down. Like, what? The year they won the Super Bowl, he looked terrible.
Yeah.
He looked atrocious. Then he turns it around.
Yeah. There's one. I think you'll like this one, Mike. James says, I got robbed in Philadelphia for my adult Happy Meal from McDonald's.
I was not in Philadelphia. I'm just going to throw that out there right now. That was not me.
You know, the funny thing is, all the issues you hear in the world and all the problems and, you know, the Philadelphia and, you know, these Big Macs are a big thing now. As a matter of fact, one of the stories that I have on my other page is that some people were already selling these these adult Happy Meal toys for up to $300,000, Mike. $300,000. So somebody, Tracy knows James. James actually got robbed for his adult Happy Meal in Philadelphia.
Damn.
Keeping it classy.
It's sad of Philly, man.
Yeah.
It's all Philadelphians.
Keeping it classy over here.
Yeah. Nothing like that would happen here in the Bird.
No.
No, we're
unicorns and rainbows.
Exactly. Puppies and kittens.
Tracy wants to know. This is a good one, Mike. Tracy wants to know, is Mike still involved in his relationship? We haven't heard anything about it in a while. Well, let me jump in real quick before Mike says anything. Once I was not able to use my sound effect for when we speak about Mike and his girlfriend, I lost interest entirely. But no, I think Mike likes to keep his private life private.
I do.
And I do. I pretend to respect that, and we don't talk about it.
Only because you can't use the sound anymore.
Yeah. Once I find a sound that I enjoy equally to that song, we'll get back into this.
Yeah.
I gotta find out if there's any domestic abuse or anything going on over
there. No, there's no domestic abuse.
Bruh, 8 times. We got 8 different bros.
Bruh, and bruh.
And Kofi from Tampa Bay just wanted to say we love the show. Keep them coming. Thank you, Kofi.
It's like Kofi Kingston.
I am probably.
Oh, I'm talking about Kofi Kingston.
So that is our email of the week. Thank you everybody for sending your emails, your thoughts, your questions. Keep them coming. We do love reading them every week. Look, I like P says, I almost got mugged for my $7 right in the middle of NC State's campus in Raleigh.
Robber's gonna rob.
Robber's gonna rob. You're right. Couple other short things, Mike, because we are starting to run out of time. Did you see the college wrestlers?
The dude who got his skull bitten by a bear?
Yes.
I can hear my bones crunching in its mouth. No.
Yeah.
No. I'm just going to give up at that point.
Well, the Friends. Now, there was a group of college wrestlers.
Yeah.
And they were out doing their thing. And P. Morton. I rolled the first button today.
Fuck yeah.
Usually I see the first sign of trouble I take off.
Oh, wow.
There's no but yeah, the three wrestlers were out in the middle, doing something. I don't know where they were, but this grizzly bear attacked one of the wrestlers, and the kids, his friends, they said, you know what, we're not going out like that. We're not going to let our boy get eaten by a grizzly bear. So the other friends, they started to punch and kick and pull the fur off the bear, which I would have never done in a million years. You know what I would have done, Mike? Anything that's living, if you take your thumb and you jam it in their eyes as hard as you can, there's going to be some kind of effect. I don't care what anybody says. Maybe the bear will get crazy and he'll get upset and he'll claw me to death, whatever. But that's my first instinct. I'm going right for the eyeballs.
Yeah.
Anything that has eyes, you go for their eyes. Yeah. How can that be a bad idea?
I know. I tried to boop its snoot. Go boop. Or see what happens.
Like the people say, you can't. If you have a pistol, what's that going to do against the bear? Well, if you put it right into his eyeball and you fire,
put it in his eyeball,
that's gonna stop anything. I would think.
Yeah, you shoot something in the eye. It's gonna.
That's my line of defense. Eyeball is it, man.
Eyeball is it. Get up right up there, pound one out right into its eye, and see what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they showed a picture of the kid. And he's in the hospital bed. He's looking, he's looking all right. Looking good.
But when I was reading that, he's like, I could hear my skull crushing.
Yeah.
No. Just end me.
Yeah.
If I was being attacked, I want my boys to save me. But if I saw one of my boys get eaten by a bear, I'm like, man, I'm next.
Yeah.
The bear's gonna look over, see this fat guy, like, that's tasty.
I like I was saying with P's comment, I am gone. I see trouble.
I don't know. I would try. See, I'd feel bad because if he lives, he's going to shit on you.
If you run, he ain't living.
He's never going to let you live that down. If he dies, all your other boys are going to give you shit till the end of time.
Yeah.
And you're going to be that guy that left your friend to die. Where in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, self-preservation.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I would not be, people like to say, oh, yeah, jump right in. Fuck no.
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 Bear, no.
I'm man enough to admit I am not fighting a grizzly bear.
No.
If you're attacking my kid, yeah, I'd fight you, but no,
That would be the only situation, but again, I would go right for the eyes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
One more real quick interesting thing that I want to talk about, and then we'll get to the trivia. Only problem with going for the eyes, you're closer to the mouth. Yeah. You know what?
True.
I thought of that, and I guess it's at some point you just got to be lucky and just point your gun at his eye and just start firing away. But like you said, one wrong move, or you're there long enough that he's going to get you with his mouth or whatever. Hopefully none of us are ever in that situation.
But real quick,
yeah.
Bears, for how apex predator they are, their ears are so goddamn cute that they do not match on a bear. How can something look that fucking cute with their cute little ears be that fucking murderous? It's not fair. Fuck you, nature. I just want to cuddle them, pet them. Ryan has completely. He's like, what the hell are you talking about?
All right, so what I'm going to do.
But they're so cute and cuddly.
I do still have a bunch. I'm going to save here because we're only about a minute and a half out to the hour. Mike, why don't you talk about the website?
Dumyinzers.com. Head over there. You can find all of Mike's ramblings on bears. Bears. Their cute little ears. Dumyinzers.com. Bears.
And there you have it, everybody. The Bears.
I think this segment.
The Bears. Mike, I simplified the quiz for you today.
Okay.
I made a multiple choice because you were struggling with the Miami week.
Automatically, I'm going with C.
So
sight unheard.
Excuse me. So basically, what's going on? If you watch the show, every week we do have questions about the team that we're playing that week. So far, Mike's 0 for 2 on Miami Dolphins questions. Don't let that fool you. He's been good all the way up to this point. So let's see how
the Dolphins. No one likes the Dolphins.
It's true.
Even if you like the Dolphins, you only like them because you were born there.
Yeah. Or your dad bought you a Dan Marino shirt if you lived in Western PA. when you were a
And
kid.
like the comedian Rory Wood Jr. said, "Man, the gang safe colors with the Miami Dolphins."
That's right. They're going, Mike. They're going with their teal throwback uniforms, which
They
I've never
are.
seen them wear
Yeah,
anything
they-
other than teal my whole life. So this is going to be interesting to see what this looks like.
All right, let's do
Okay,
it.
so here's your question of the day. Anybody wants to play, feel free to put your comments in, and here we go. In which season, Mike, was Dan Marino named the NFL MVP? Was it his first season? Was it his second season? Was it his third season? Or was it his fourth season? Let me read the question one more time so there's no confusion. In which season was Dan Marino named the NFL MVP? First, second, third, or fourth? And go. All right. Everybody put your pencils down. All right. So the question of the day, everybody, the question of the day for how well do I know my enemy? The Dolphins question. Let me see. P says I'd guess first. That was the Super Bowl one, right? Okay, so P says his first season is P's answer. He says that Dan Marino was the MVP in the NFL in his very first season, his rookie year.
I'm sticking with my guns. I always go C if I don't know the answer, so I'm going C.
And you're going with your J guns. I was just thinking of J guns the other day, Mike.
Me too. I was rolling through Midland. I was like,
Yeah.
not about those guys.
So the question was, in which season was Dan Marino named the NFL MVP? P. Morton says his first season. He says he was an MVP in his rookie year. And Mike says C, his third year. So this is your answer. You want that logged in, Mike?
Yep.
All right, you're in place here. Got you all set. All right. In which season was Dan Marino named the NFL MVP? Was it his first, second, third, or fourth? The answer was, Mike said the third. And that is...
Oh, see, he's having audio issues over there.
I'm not. I'm just sitting still because I seen you trying to push me along.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, come on, dude.
All right. So the answer to this is, Mike said it's the third season he was the MVP. And the
Why
correct
don't you just read the question
answer is...
Oh, I'm gonna kill you.
That is incorrect. I'm so sorry.
Bullshit.
The correct answer, everybody, is the second year. His Dan Marino's second season was his MVP season, and I think they went and lost his rookie year. Is that correct, Mike?
I can't remember. All I know is Lace is out, Marino. Lace is out.
So I think maybe he might have won his rookie year, went to the Super Bowl, lost, and maybe won the MVP his second year. I think that's how it played out. But anyway, the record this week, Mike, you were 0-3. No, this is Thursday. You should be 0-4.
0-4. I haven't answered anything right.
So tomorrow we'll throw you a big beach ball. See if you can hit that with the wiffle ball bat.
All right.
But hey, we do want to say we're live every single day through the week, Monday through Friday at 11 o'clock a.m. to 12 o'clock p.m. here on YouTube. Continue to check us out. And if you want to listen to this show that we do today will be uploaded later on at 8 o'clock in the evening over on Spotify if you just want to listen. So be sure to go check that out. Mike, do you have anything before we take off for today, sir?
Lace is out, Marino. Lace is out.
What was that? What was the guy? Finkel, Ray
Finkelstein.
Ray Finkel.
Finkel.
But hey, yes, Lace is out, everybody. You don't want to forget that. But hey, for Ryan, Mike, the two Dum Yinzers, thank you for watching.